What's up, y'all? Let's get into it. We got to talk about this Foster Ford fight that happened last night. One great fight. I'm gonna start it off by saying that was a great fight. I enjoyed the fight a lot. If we're gonna start, let's do from the beginning to the end. So the undercards, I didn't watch any of the prelims. I usually like watching the prelims. I usually love watching the undercard. Um, I just like the build up to the fights, but also too you get to kind of pick out and identify some up and coming stars in those. But I didn't get to watch the prelims. I watched some the kind of I caught like I pretty much caught all the undercards. But my one dig at the entire fight production is the undercards weren't like that impressive. I didn't watch the prelims, don't know how those were, but the undercards were like so, like they were cool. If I could give it to a comparison, like Cinco de Mayo, that the fight card, the prelims, the undercard, and the main event for Cinco de Mayo with Benavidez and oh boy was crazy. I mean, every fight was high intensity, high impact. I mean, like every fight, I was like, yo, these are dope fights. These are dope fights. This one was kind of like, yeah, eh. Mostly what had me built up for the fight was how they sold the fight. How did I give both fighters credit? I give Ford and Foster both a lot of credit for how they sold the fight. And what I mean by that is I don't think any of the tension between them was staged. I don't think I really genuinely feel and believe they do not like each other. Like, you know what I mean? It's one of the ones where it's like, nah, I really don't like you. Like, actually, I can't stand you and I can't wait to get into the ring with you. Not one of these, oh, we got to sell the fight, so we're going to talk trash and it's just going to be, or just like I don't like you right now because we're not, on the same side or whatever. It was smoke. I felt it. And that is what I believe. And I have to probably say this is likely for a lot of people, had me even more invested into the fights. Because before I was just like, even when they first announced it, I was just like, okay, cool. You know, I pay for the zone. I'm a DAZN Ultimate subscriber. You heard that, DAZN. I'm a DAZN Ultimate subscriber. So I was like, oh, that's gonna be a dope fight. I'm gonna check it out. Cool. But then as they started to build on it, and the narratives is what I'm learning. The narratives behind fights are so important, so critical, and they did their job. Check plus with that. They did their job. They had me invested. I believe they had other people invested into the fight. And it is what made you want to be like, I got to watch this. I don't care how late it is. I need to watch this fight. Going into the start of the fight, something super minor that probably no one cares about, but I care about is the fits. I don't know. I feel like, especially when you prime time, like it's like prime time. You dig what I'm saying? Deion Sanders, look good, feel good, play good. Uh, Fits across the board, both of them. I just loved them. Yeah, A plus. You're a professional. You're on a main stage. You are the main ticket. You need to come dressed the part. Tell me what you think about that in the comments as well. Do you think that it matters? Do you think it doesn't matter? I think it matters. I mean, I think it's a part of the show. You know what I mean? Don't come in there all like either come in there with something super basic like all black or some regular blue. Like come in there super basic or come in there like with it on. Don't come in there with no yeah. So both fighters, A on that for me. Now we're gonna get into some of the parts where most people feel is very controversial, which is Foster. I'm gonna say throwing Ford out of the ring. Now I'm gonna be honest, and this isn't me taking a side. I I believe Foster spun. I believe he did the spin, and I believe he did push him. And I believe he put some strength behind the push. But what I believe happened and what I saw happen, and even looking back and again and again and again, is I think more so Ford's head was like down like this, and with the strong push, he like went through the rope at the like in that perfect slit of the rope where the ropes have the gaps. Like I think he just went through it perfectly because if he was upright And he got pushed like that. And I've seen this. We can't act like we don't see this happen. We can't act like we've never seen people tie up with somebody, spin somebody, and then push them. Like, we can't act like we haven't seen that happen. I just feel like his head was down. He leaned, and the push was strong. And maybe we got to give Foster some credit. Like, maybe bro's just kind of strong too. He gave him some oomph. And I think he just went through the ropes perfectly. And then I think when he went through the ropes, and you could even see, I just think he couldn't catch himself. Like, I think he couldn't, you know, it was kind of one of them things. Like, he went through the ropes, maybe tried to catch himself, just kind of really couldn't catch himself, and then proceeded to go through all the way. In my opinion, I also think he probably could have stopped himself a little bit too. I don't know, but stopping it up until that point, I believe it was a push. I believe he pushed him hard. I believe his head was just down, and he just had no, equilibrium, balance, was just not able to stop himself fully at that moment. And then, he went through the ropes. Do I think it should have been a point deduction? No. Do I think he should have been disqualified? No, I definitely don't. Think of it. All these folks paid all this money to be here. They put all this money into this production, and people who are paying for subscriptions to watch these fights and who like and love watching these fights are invested into it. I can see if it was something super crazy, dirty, boom. Maybe even then, maybe it got to be kind of crazy off the wall. It's like people, like, I work hard for my money. I work hard for my money, and I pay for these services because I want to watch these things. And they are professional main fighters. So, like, I think the warning was a good enough. I even think Foster understood, like, you can even see when he did it, bro went through it, he kind of was like, oh shit, like, I didn't mean to, like, I think he was just trying to push him. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. Do you agree, disagree? You let me know. But moving on from that, another part that I believe the fight was close. I believe the fight was close up until, honestly, I'm going to say the 11th and 12th round. True championship round fights, true championship fighting. And I feel like it was a weird back and forth. So round one, I think, was lock even. I don't know who you give it to in round one. I feel like it was lock even. And then from round one, I think it literally went back and forth. Back and forth. So after round one, I feel like it was good. We go into round two. I'm feeling like Ford kind of was like, standing on his own. But then we go back into three. I feel like Foster kind of did his thing. Then we go back to four, then Ford doing his thing. And it went back and forth like that in my mind. All up until maybe, truthfully, honestly, maybe seventh or eighth round. Seventh or eighth round is where I kind of started to feel momentum change, momentum shift. And the part that I think no one really is talking about, some people are talking about it, about the gas tank of Ford, but I think the investment into the body, Foster was investing into the body. And I think it did pay dividends at the tail end of the fight. Ford looked a little bit more sluggish. He looked a little bit slower. He did, he still has some in the tank. He's a professional, and he is good. I'm not gonna sit here and act like he's not good. And people do all these things where they pick a side and try to act like the other person's totally trash. Like, no, they're both great fighters. I think he was kind of getting a little winded. I think it was also like that championship level. It's kind of like football in a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Someone that's been to two Super Bowls, three Super Bowls, maybe even one Super Bowl for him, have been down and know what that feels like, knows what the adversity feels like, know what the pressure feels like, just knows what it's like to have the lights on fully, reacts a lot differently compared to somebody who maybe that's their first go around at it, or, the pace. And somebody even, they said it, I think it was like one of the DAZN folks, said you get an adrenaline dump too. Also, when you have like an emotional investment and things, sometimes you get an adrenaline dump. And I was like, dang, I could see an adrenaline dump happening like that. But going back into it, I think it was close up until seventh, eighth, started to kind of pull away. Ford kind of did his thing again in 10th, but then 11th and 12th, Foster just, it's like he understood the assignment. And I think his corner did a great job by not lying to him or like sugarcoating it. Like I think every round they were spot on at giving him the advice that he needed to. Like even when he was doing good, like they weren't like, "Oh, you won that." It was just like that was a good round. You need to do another one like that. Okay, you need another round like that. And then the 10th round, I was like ninth or 10th. Ford kind of turns it up on him, and his corner was like, "Hey, Foster was on the ropes. Ford was pressing on him while he was on the ropes." And it wasn't necessarily that Ford was doing him bad on the ropes. It's the optics. The optics. And we'll get into a little bit of optics here in a second too, but the optics of Ford having Foster pressed on the ropes and just swinging and him dodging, like even if it's not connecting, the optics don't look well. And his corner told him, like, "Hey, you can't let him have you on the ropes like that." Not even because he's doing you damage or like we're worried about your health or anything. It's just like it doesn't look good. You don't want, and I think they even said too, you don't want this to fall into the hands of the judges. You cannot let this fall into the hands of the judges. You have to win this. 11th and 12th, he came out, he did his thing. So then lastly, the part that I also found interesting was the Shakur part, Shakur stepping into the ring. I find this different than the Usyk one, the Usyk and Rico one, where I didn't appreciate them bringing the other fighter into the ring because I felt like it was, one of them fights where it's like, nah, Buddy did his thing so well and represented so well. You should have shined a little bit more light on him until bringing in somebody else. This one was different. Like Buddy won, Foster won, fair and square. I think we all can agree he won. Then yeah, let's zero in. Like I said, we was gonna win. Now I want you. Um, the only part about that where I'm questioning is when Foster said, "What you doing all that for?" And Shakur had something in his hands, and I can't describe it. He looked like, "What you doing all that?" Like he looked like repulsed, kind of like, "What you doing all that for?" He had something in his hand. I don't know what that was about. I don't know what that was. I really want to know. But that was entertaining. That was super entertaining. I don't think they're gonna fight each other. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't. I really don't. I think it's gonna be a lot of wolfing. I think it's gonna be a lot of yeah. It's gonna be a lot of what I don't like in the sport right now. Video to drop on that soon too. I think it's just gonna be a lot of wolfing, a lot of wolf tickets on both sides. No one's. I mean, I do think Foster wants to fight him. I think it's more beneficial for Foster than it is Shakur. I think Shakur, he just has too much to lose. Like literally, um, he beats him. Like Shakur, if Shakur beats him, it's like you were supposed to beat him. You're bigger. You were better. Yeah, whatever. And Foster is now elevated even more and put on a higher stage and a bigger payday and all that. Like I think that's just an elevation for him drastically. Can't say it's not. But if Shakur loses, that's not good. That's not good at all. So, it was interesting. It was interesting. I definitely thought they was about to get to fighting for real. Definitely thought they was gonna get to fighting for real. Um, I'm interested to see how that plays out. But those are my takes on the whole fight. I want to hear out what you thought about it. I want to hear your opinions, your thoughts on everything. I want you to put it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you think. What you think? How you think the fight went? Do you think Buddy really won? Do you think him and Shakur are actually gonna fight each other? And do you appreciate in these getting in the rings with the next opponents afterwards? Tell me your thoughts. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you. Make sure you also stay on the lookout for all of the videos we have coming on and content we have coming on about the amateur boxers here in Georgia, the amateur boxing scene here in Atlanta. We are definitely going to be putting on for the Atlanta, Georgia boxing scene. We are bringing boxing to Atlanta, to Georgia in general. I think we have some of the best boxers in the country, probably some of the best boxers in the world. We're gonna show y'all why that is so, and we're gonna make them. We're gonna put some respect and make y'all put some respect on the state of Georgia and why you should be bringing more fights to Georgia. But stay tuned for that. Appreciate y'all.